How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna finally do another mod on the Mustang. I know it's been a really long time. The last thing I did was the only thing, which was the exhaust, which is probably 2 months ago now, which is pretty crazy. The next mod I already have in mind, I already know what it's gonna be. It is not a cosmetic enhancement, it's actually a performance thing, so that should be interesting to see. That being said, let's get into this install. So today we're actually going to be installing this part from Ford Performance. This comes in the factory cars, I believe in like the Performance Pack 2s. I just decided to pick one up for my car. This is a strut tower brace, and there's the other part in there also. It replaces the plastic one with metal, and then this just goes on the car and it doesn't exist right now. I thought this would just be a really good upgrade for handling, stability, and a little bit of power control, especially when we add a little bit of horsepower, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. A lot of people say this doesn't really do anything, but it does hold the car a little bit better together and make the car handle a little bit better. So that being said, let's pop the hood. Alright, so we've got the hood all opened up. I'll show you guys kind of step by step of how we're gonna do this. Obviously, the strut bar is gonna go over there, and then we have to also replace the part that is underneath this cover here. So we need to remove the battery cover. In order to do that, there are these little screw pins here. There are 3 of them. Basically, all we have to do in order to take these off, I'll show you guys. The one that's in the light is just twist it and then pull it. Simply pulls off just like that. We'll take the rest of them off. Alright, now that I've got all 3 of those off, really easy to take off. You don't need any tool. This cover comes off and then goes on the side. Now this is actually the part that's going to be replaced, and it is tucked a little bit under this, and we're going to take these off. There's one pin here, one there, there's one there, and there's a couple down there. Not all of those have to come out in order to get underneath it, because there's one bolt underneath this one, the bolt there, and the bolt there. And we just have to take that out and replace it with the new part. So in order to get to these, I have this little tool here, super cheap at the auto store. This clicks up, then we get underneath it and we pull, and it simply just comes off. It might come into 2 pieces. I'm gonna click back in because I only have one hand, but it comes off and they click back together. And then that's basically all. And then this part is loose. I'm gonna take the rest of them out real quick, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so there's one clip there. I've taken this clip out here, this clip out here, the clip out from here, and this clip out, and also the clip out in the first. So what that means is we have access to the bolt that is right there. We need to take this bolt out, and this bolt out in order for this plastic piece to come out to be replaced with the metal one. So we have those 3 bolts right there. Obviously, to take the strut tower brace off, there's 2 more bolts right here. This little pin right here connected to the battery, you just kind of wiggle this, pull this out, flip this around, and I'll just do that really quickly, and then I'll show you how it should look. So it took a little bit of pulling. This comes out, we can flip this, and now we have full access to both these bolts. I'm going to take all of these out, these 2, the one here, and then the one in there, and I'm going to take this piece out. Okay, so we've got both of these bolts off. We have this one and this one. This one's in my hand. This is actually a 15 millimeter. So just so you guys have a reference for that. And I'm gonna take the other ones out and I'll let you know what size that is. I actually ended up taking this last clip out on the row just to get a little bit more leverage. We have the first bolt. There's actually a second bolt underneath there, which I found out just now. So there's actually one more bolt. I do apologize. So I'm going to continue taking these out, and I'll be back once all the bolts are out. This bolt right here, a bolt tucked under this little triangle here. There was another bolt. The first bolt that I knew was there was under here. The second one that I just forgot to realize that was here, and this one was a little bit of a pain because this plastic part is pretty tight. But all of these are off now, so that's pretty fun. I should just be able to, theoretically, if I had 2 hands, and just lift this off. So I'm gonna turn the camera off real quick and just take it off. After all of that work, this is the piece that comes out, and I will show you guys the new piece because I haven't pulled it out of the box yet. So this is the new one right here. Immediately you can see this one is 1, made of metal, a much better material, something that will hold up longer than the cheap plastic, and 2, that it is much longer than this little piece is. For comparison, we put it here, it is about that much longer. Because this is actually gonna come out, extend, and then end up bolting onto here. Alright, so I kind of have it dry fitted right now over the plastic piece. You can see it kind of wraps around and then ends up over there. So it's basically the same process. Same bolts here, same bolts there, same bolts there. And then you got the same bolts here. And then right here, we actually do have these clips that are attached to the other piece, and we'll install those in a little bit. The other piece has to go on top of it, so there's no point in bolting that down yet, or the other side, but I'm gonna bolt the rest of it up, and then we'll get into the next step. So we have it fitted pretty nicely. We have the 2 bolts. We have one more to go. I don't believe I've ever said this. The other bolts are 13 millimeters. So these 2 and the 2 up there, and then these were the 15 millimeters down here. I'm gonna finish that last bolt off, and then we will get into the final part and then just undo everything else and put all the pins back in. So we have all of the parts on for this piece. Everything is done, and we have the 2 bolts left here. We had to take out the battery. You unplug the battery, unscrew this a little bit, shake it out, comes right out, and then you flip that, put this on, put it on the other end, put the battery back in, and then you put the 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So after that, we're completely done other than putting that back together. So I'm gonna put those 4 bolts in and then be right back. Okay, so now that everything is properly torqued down, don't forget to put this little pin back in afterwards. We actually got 4 new bolts, the 2 here, and then we also got the 2 right here. I have 2 extras now. I'll just keep them on the side, but yeah, we're gonna put all of those pins back in. The ones you did end up taking out, you put them back on, and then you put the battery cover back on with the little pins with the battery, and then you're all done. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then we'll end the video. And we have everything done. All of it is all pinned up. It was a lot easier to put those back in. Not that it was hard to take it out, it's just tedious. Super easy. Took me like 2 minutes to put that all back together. And this is the final result. It looks a lot better under here under the engine bay. It gives it kind of a little bit of structure, and this little extra piece also looks pretty cool, and I'm just happy to know there's a metal piece there instead of a plastic piece. Well, this video, I guess we have everything installed. Everything we needed to get done is done. Hopefully the next mod is gonna come not 2 months away from now, maybe like another couple weeks here, so we can get things rolling, a little bit extra power underneath the car. I definitely want to do wheels, but I'm kind of holding off. I have a decent amount of tread left on these tires. I don't really see a reason to get rid of them just yet, ride it out for a little bit. Summer isn't even here yet. It's like 50 degrees still, so maybe once it starts to get a little warmer, 70, 80s outside, we'll put some new wheels on, make it look all nice, get the fitment right. Because the fitment in the rear from factory, it looks pretty nice, but I don't like the way the fitment in the front is. It just kind of looks a little off, and maybe a little bit lowered as well. Couple inches, can fit 4 fingers down there, get these a little off. And then in the back, the fitment is pretty nice for the tire in the arch, but it could be lowered a little bit. Still fit 4 fingers, so maybe like halfway down. Don't want to do coilovers, but lowering springs probably will be ideal. I guess we'll find out. Get a little bit of a firmer ride and have a couple inches closer to the ground. Honestly, the car doesn't ride too low, so that's definitely something we could do and will do. Alongside that, maybe adding a little bit of color to the brake calipers would be pretty cool. These aren't Brembos, but it still look nice to have those painted. Brembos are expensive to replace, expensive to run, pads are expensive, rotors are even more expensive, and I just don't think it's worth it because the car's gonna be used on the road most of the time. If I do end up driving the car a lot on the track, I'll end up swapping them. Before now, these brakes are gonna do. But it would be cool to get a little bit of color into the calipers. Maybe blue, lighter blue, a purple, a yellow, and orange. A little bit of a contrasting color that clashes with the paint a little bit. Might look pretty good, but it'd be cool to get those painted for sure. It'd definitely be cool to get some new wheels. These wheels don't really come out that well on camera, but in person they look 10 times better. These aren't the EcoBoost wheels that everyone likes to say these are. These are actually upgraded chrome wheels from Ford. I don't know what it is, but in person these wheels look a lot better than they do on camera. I guess it's just the weird angle of the lens. You go check out my Instagram, those wheels do not look half bad on the car, but it'd be nice to change it up, get a little bit of color in the wheels, maybe some bronze wheels or something like that. Be pretty interesting. Wing replacement coming soon. Kind of just give you guys a little sneak peek at what I'm thinking. Maybe a little bit of ethanol under here with a replacement intake. That's probably what's going to be next for the people who are sticking around and watching this far. But that's all I have for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.